Hello, everybody. Thanks for all the prayers. Yeah, yesterday I had to make sure I got checked out. Some stupid liberal doctor gave me the wrong type of prescription, but we now got that handled and under control. Now, I'm out and about. I know a lot of people say you need to start getting some rest. You need to start doing this, start doing that. Thank you all for all your concerns and your prayers. But when you're running for governor, when you're running for a statewide office, rest doesn't come that easy. It doesn't go too well. And with me, I'm a powerhouse. That's how I look at it. Even afterwards, they put all that medication into me. I still can't get no sleep. So I was up just pacing around thinking about all the havoc these Democrats has caused all over the place. And that ain't a good thing for Democrats, because then it gives me a little bit more ammo and I start looking into things I haven't looked into before. So while I'm out and about and wearing my Trump 2020 hat, wearing Rutledge University, here at the Walmart, getting some prescription filled, and I said to myself, I'm looking at all these face masks running around. So I say to myself, I understand the face mask policy as far as those working in the business and all this other stuff. You want to be careful and stuff like that. But my number one question, even for Walmart and the rest of them, is the fact of, have you ever gotten tested for COVID? Have you ever got tested for the coronavirus? And the numbers will astound you on this one. Most of the people who are wearing masks have not been tested for COVID. Now, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but we watch the TV. And we know a couple of things, that people could be walking around with COVID and don't even know they have it. But I could go all across Virginia Beach, Norfolk, wherever, and I see all these parties, all these barbecues, and all this other stuff going on. And I said to myself, so I guess that face mask is supposed to stop all 50 of y'all from getting COVID. Let's be serious, people. They say it spreads through the eyes. It spreads with all the barbecue juice that's coming off of all that good food. But the fact is, people, this is starting to get ridiculous. I'm going to be honest with you. It's starting to really get ridiculous at exactly all the fear that's being spread out here all across Virginia Beach, all across Virginia, all across America. Like this little face mask is supposed to protect you, and you're not doing the proper thing with the face mask. Some people is even wearing the face mask wrong. Let's be honest about it. And I'm saying to myself, all this havoc done to the economy over what we are seeing today as the biggest political hoax, and people are still asleep at the wheel. Now, I'm running around getting my nice little supplies or whatever I need to get. And my hospital trip, I had to look at Tim Kaine. I swear my doctor liked Tim Kaine. And honestly, I didn't trust him that much. And for somebody giving me a shot and give me a whole bunch of medication and stuff like that, I understand. You already knew a liberal screwed up at another hospital and you had to correct that problem. But the fact of the matter is, some people at the hospital wasn't even wearing face masks. So I'm trying to say to myself, this is a nice little con game. Then Ralph Northam comes to Virginia Beach not wearing the mask and not practicing social distancing. And I'm like, what is the truth here? Is this really about saving lives, or is this about basically we are getting all the funding? Because it seems like it's too many smiles going on for something this damn serious, to be real. It's too many smiles going on. So as far as Mike Horsky or whatever, if you don't like my live feed, you can go ahead and kiss my ass. As far as I'm concerned, liberals don't get no kind of attention with me. And don't think I'm the typical type of Republican. So if you got a problem with that, you can get off my live, or you can stay on here and enjoy me talking. Now, if you got a problem with the face mask, ask Governor Northam about what he was doing without face mask. Was he social distancing? Did he get tested for COVID? Find that out from him first. So don't talk that trash to me unless you ready to say it face to face, man to man, like any other Republican out there ain't afraid to do. But it seems like Democrats all over the place are scared to do. I'm in the Walmart with my Trump hat, with the Rutledge University thing, and guess what? There's people the same size as me, 6'4", 250 pounds, people 6'7", 7 foot. They hate Trump, but guess what? They ain't saying nothing to me. So let me know, let me find this out. Why don't you walk around with your Biden hat right now? And let's see if you could determine who's black or not. So you don't like what I'm saying, Mike, I can't even pronounce your names. I hope you got your papers and you're not illegal. So back to my point before I was rudely interrupted. We have to get back to opening up the economy before things is destroyed, before things is so far out of control that there is no kind of repairable answer to this. Because people are dying by suicides. Mental illness is going rampant. And how are you going to change up society now from the fear of coronavirus, a virus that we know now? You may or may not get it in your lifetime. But to see the havoc that is going on based off a virus that has a 2% death rate based off the people who get it, and most of them elderly or have pre-existing conditions. So this is my idea about the situation. If you have a pre-existing condition and that afraid, you stay home. You decide whether your household or your livelihood is going to be dependent on the government, and see how the government treats you right now. They're already doing tax hikes. They're already trying to figure out how to get money because they worried about the federal government not bailing them out, President Trump not bailing them out, and he has every good reason. If you've been dogging me out and I've been saving lives, not only in your state, across America, gave out stimulus checks, gave out of control unemployment benefits for people to survive, but you state governors, you local Democratic officials didn't do anything. This is the thing when city councils and all that other stuff start opening up. And this is for the Democrats that is all so gun-ho happy about Biden running for office or having Democratic governors. I want you to say to yourself and ask those local politicians, what did you do during this crisis? Don't talk about blaming Trump. I need to hear from you. What did you do to become prepared? What kind of questions were you asking to your colleagues as well as state officials about what they were doing for American citizens? Now, after you ask that question, they're going to say nothing. We was waiting for the federal government. That lets you know they didn't care about you. So you hate a president that has done everything that your governors didn't do except for lock you down and not have a backup plan. Then I want you, after that, compare what your local officials and state officials did compared to President Trump and the federal government during this time period. You'll start understanding the smoke and mirrors tactics that's going on. Now, as you're looking all over Google, looking all over your news outlets, your trusted news sources, each time frame, even from Andrew Cuomo to Michigan governor, and all these ones talking about they are broke all across this country. They need money to fund their state budgets because it's a disaster. Now, look at all the crap that they talked about President Trump. Compare what they did compared to President Trump. And what you will see directly is the biggest political hoax and fraud ever committed on the United States of America by politicians elected to serve this country. And most of them politicians are career politicians that need term limits, but also at the same time frame, look at the activities they was pulling off during this time frame. Now, we have Nancy Pelosi, who's trying to fund the JFK Kennedy Center and get funding for Planned Parenthood as essential services. They are closing down churches. They are keeping liquor stores open. They're keeping abortion clinics open. They are making sure the places that they go to is open. They're not following their own rules all across this country. Ask Northam in Virginia Beach. But you're listening to these politicians, these Democrats, tell you what to do. And the whole time frame, you're following blindly with no research and nothing, and you just falling for the nice little blame Trump every single time frame my city or my town or my county or my state is falling behind because of bad decisions of your government officials. This is what happens with the swamp. Anytime frame somebody is not a leader, they will not take responsibility, they will not take accountability, and they will throw the blame at anybody else to take the heat off of them. That's not a leader, people. That's a coward. Because right now, every single politician is a suspect in this fraud on America. Every single one of them. And until they get exonerated, until they are no longer considered a suspect, I don't trust any one of them. The reason is because when I look all across this country, all across this state, and I see the mess that has happened, a lot of this mess with budgets happened before the coronavirus. That's the part that people are not talking about. How messed up was your budgets and your economy before the coronavirus? And look at how much they're asking for. They're not asking for the money based off of the time period in which they shut down the state. They're asking for the money to pay off their mistakes for years down the road. Years of bad decisions. Years of bad budgets. Years of being absent of conservative wisdom and fiscal responsibility because they spent more time paying off their pet projects, lining their pockets, and doing nothing for the voters that they said or claimed that they was going to do something for. So now we're stuck in this type of situation where I would say it needs to be funding for mental illness, and not just the mental illness because somebody's crazy or insane. Mental democratic illness. There needs to be counseling for this. And the best counseling for this is for the Republican Party, the GOP, and conservatives to send out the message loud and clearly when somebody is trashing the people doing the real work, draining the swamp, and covering for all these bad actors in state governments and localities. There needs to be a time period in which you have to say to yourself, enough is enough of all this back and forth and all this trashing. How much can you hate somebody who loves America? And not just the white part of America, not just the black part of America, not because of Hispanics or any part of America, no favoritism. He represents the United States of America. When those checks were sent out, it was sent out to United States citizens. When the unemployment benefits for those who was out of work was sent out to United States citizens. But your local cities, Democrat governors, are not talking about the American people. All they talk about is how we're going to get some money to illegals. And they want the federal government to pay for people who are not supposed to be in our country. Not supposed to be our problem. And that ain't racist. That ain't discriminating. It's the fact you're from another country. Fix your own country before coming over to America and giving us your problems for us to pay it off. And that's what's happening all across this country with liberal governors. And they are saying we need money to bail out our disasters. And look at this. Even California is talking about we're going to fire our police and our first responders. Release dangerous, violent criminals. But we gonna do that first. But at the same time frame, we ain't gonna look for money for them to protect Americans, law-abiding Americans. We gonna look for money to give to illegals. Why would anybody in their right mind, as a leader here in the United States of America, claiming that they're broke, having money for illegals? This is as screwed up as it gets. And now we got Biden talking about who is black and who is not, who should be in chains and who is not. People, we got to get past this racism all the way across the board. And what I mean by this is, it seems like politicians are opportunists and play on race and fear, just like they did this coronavirus. And that is exactly what is going on right now. The fear. And fear doesn't mean truth or fact. Fear just means any time frame I could get you to be intimidated or to back down or to go the other way or turn the other cheek because you're scared of somebody. That's the problem with not having enough patriots being mentors throughout communities all across this country. Instead of that, they are being attacked for loving America. Loving the place that they were born at, raised at, and created their history and their heritage at, their families. Why in the world should we be back in the 1800s and we are in 2020? Every person has to be responsible for themselves. They must practice, of course, being a law-abiding citizen, but at the same time, we work with different people every single day. How long can you continuously blame people who had nothing to do with the past? Nor should we ever forget the past that they are trying to take away with laws to remove monuments, and now they're also removing God, Bible, church, and everything that was great about America. The thing is, now we have a president who is unapologetic for loving America. We have a Republican Party that loves America. The Democrats, there's some that love America, but don't even realize that Democrats is destroying everything about America. This is about educating the uninformed voter. That's how we're going to win Virginia back. We can attack all we want, but there's just those who are scared to say, I support my president. I support my country. I support the fact that my boss is making sure I have food on the table during this time frame. I support the fact that my neighbor, even though they don't look like me or act like me or talk about me, but they are there to help me out during this tough time. We are forgetting about basics of decency and civility because we're stuck on this word of hate. We are no longer sitting down with the people that we disagree with. We are judging them for the few seconds and a few moments of being misguided and uninformed or lacking the experience to know who people are by their content of their character, not just by the judgment of being the color of their skin. I go any and every place because I love people. I love families. I love America. I love everything about my story. And my story hasn't always been great. But I love the fact because the harder it is what made us. Whether you're black, white, or Hispanic, we all have had obstacles. We have had people who look like us, who judged us and cast the first stone, and then found out that their closet is full of skeletons too. Nobody's perfect. People have a past, and some people have paid off to cover up their past. This Memorial Day holiday, yes, it's about celebrating our military and those who have gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country and those who continue to do so. But it is Americans all across this country that do it not only every single day, but is willing to lay down their life for their constitutional rights and not to live on their knees, but to live on their feet so their family knows that there's leadership and strength and family. Now people are trying to rip it apart before it's ever born. So when you look around at America and you look at all those people and you look at that God who is good all the time, be thankful. Be thankful for those that you get to see every single day. Some can't see their mother or father or see anybody from the past that has been a great leader in their life and mentored them. Some can't see their husband and wife who lost their life on the battlefield and gave the ultimate sacrifice. But they see them in the babies that are left behind that they have had. The stories, the letters, the phone calls, those moments that we cherish that some people would say it was so little, but it was a major thing to them. America is going to be America again. The thing is, we have weak leaders. We people who no longer talk to you, they talked above you. That's why they look down on you. Merle Rutledge isn't about that. Merle Rutledge doesn't care if you're a janitor or somebody who works at 7-Eleven. I'm going to show you respect. I want to hear your story. I want to know your life. I want to know how to make this country better. I want to go to the boardroom. I want to speak to the CEOs and let them know, thank you for making sure people are going to work, because you have to make the toughest decisions every single day about thousands and thousands and thousands of families that are looking to make sure that food is on the table and they have their security provided for them. I would like to thank all police officers who doesn't know who they're going to meet today. They don't know when it's going to be their last traffic stop. They don't know when the last time frame they're going to be on duty or answer muster call. The same thing with our militias and first responders who see people every single day and don't discriminate, but treat them the best that they can. They do it because of love of their neighbor, love for people, a love for country, a love to know that there is somebody else who believes that they are lost but looking to be found by God's grace. God's grace is in each and every one of us. Sometimes we may walk too far away, but God stays with us each and every step of the way. So I want to tell everybody, there ain't going to be a coronavirus that takes over this country. There ain't going to be a devil that takes over this country. There isn't going to be evil that decides to run over this country or a tyrant that decides to enslave his own people. Moses wasn't rich, but he parted the Red Sea and told Pharaoh to let his people go. Guess who won that battle? David went up against Goliath with everything against him. He was the underdog. Who won that battle? God has been kicking the devil's ass all over the place, and be damned if America ain't protected by his grace. I want you to have a happy Memorial Day. I want you to know it's time to get America back. It's time to make Virginia again and set the tone and set it up for everybody else across America. We protect God, country, and family first, and you're not going to touch the very means for us to do so from all enemies, foreign or domestic. 1A, the right to protest. 2A, the right to defend. The right to be who you are. We are all Americans.